Okay, I'm fully aware that this Raw review, it's going to be kind of brief, but realistically, I don't want to waste you guys' time by talking for 20 minutes, half an hour about this show, which really, nothing really happened, okay? The company went into autopilot for this show. This was taped last week after the December 16th episode, which wasn't great in itself. Tonight's episode, I describe it as worthless, bit of a waste of time. Just get right into it. So, Kevin Owens opens the show. He says he has a lot of things to talk about and get off his chest, a lot of people to take out his frustration on. Then Mojo Rawley comes out. So yes, we technically have Owens, Mojo Rawley to open Raw. Like right there, the amount of people who changed the channel, I can't even describe it. So they have a no DQ match between Owens and Rawley. The match goes, 5-7 minutes, doesn't go too long. Owens ends up getting the win as you'd expect. Afterwards, Owens is like, AOP, Rollins, get out here, do your attack, get it over with. And then Rollins and AOP, they do come out. We get AOP and Rollins beating up Owens for a little bit, and then Rollins walks off standing tall. So that was the opening segment. Whatever, really. This Owens and Rollins stuff, it's good, but it could be better. It's just not doing it for me personally. I think the way Rollins is portraying the heel character, he needs to be more conviction in it, because it just seems like he's kind of dabbling in the heel persona. He's not really as not demonic or anything, but as evil as he could be, which really dastardly heel Rollins would be great to watch. The Rollins at the moment, it's just not that amazing. So moving on with the show, there's some 24/7 BS. They're at in public somewhere. There's a big Christmas tree. Truth, he has his card. It's in Japanese. Eventually he gets told by some guy that that's not in English. It was pretty cringe. Eventually Akira Tozawa rolls Truth up, wins the 24/7 title. The people in public watching this must have been so confused. It probably looked terrible to them. It came off terrible on TV. So that was what happened there. Moving on with the show, we get Bob Lashley versus Cedric Alexander. This match, it went for 2 minutes. Bob Lashley got knocked out to the floor. And then Lana got into the ring with a microphone and started literally screaming and shouting at Cedric Alexander for 2 minutes, talking about how Bob Lashley, her hot boyfriend, can't be injured because they have a wedding next week. And all of that, it doesn't really matter. Lana, Bob Lashley, everyone's sick of it. There was no Rusev appearance here for another week, so we all know next week Rusev's going to gate crash the wedding and they're going to have a match at the Royal Rumble. That's so predictable. So they had this. It was really just to plug the wedding next week. The final Raw of the decade. Jerry Lawler was talking about next week's Raw with the wedding of Lashley and Lana as though it's the biggest event. Shut up, Lawler. Also, Lawler was wearing this. It was this shirt, which was like a Christmas suit, but it was like a shirt. It looked god awful. So just forget about that. So that happened there. Backstage, Seth Rollins is with the AOP. Rollins is interviewed. Basically asks the same question again as he has the last few weeks. Why are you like this now? Why are you doing this to Owens? And Rollins basically refuses to explain anything. So going back to the ring now, Becky Lynch comes out with the Raw Women's title in tow. She cuts a little promo, basically saying exactly what she said in the interview with Charlie Caruso, I believe, last week. She's talking about how the one thing she hasn't done in the company is beat Asuka, and the company, the machine, aren't letting her face Asuka, which is total BS. I don't believe that for a second. That's garbage. And then Asuka and Kairi Sane come out. They talk in Japanese a little bit. The only thing you can hear is when Asuka says something about Asuka 2 belts. And Becky's like, if that's what it must take, putting the belt on the line, then we'll do it, okay? Anytime, any place. So Becky's facing Asuka, probably the Royal Rumble most likely. That should be a good match. Looking forward to it. But other than that, nothing special here. Here we get more 24/7 title BS. That's some Japanese little truck, and then R-Truth knocks someone's thing out of their hands. It's crap. Moving on. And then we go to Aleister Black. He comes out. His entrance is always sick. I love Aleister Black. He comes out. He beats this jobber this guy who Black was facing. Before the match, he was jumping around, looking like he's about to have a seizure, and then Black beats him in 30 seconds. So squash match Aleister Black. Black walks up the ramp. And then we get Buddy Murphy coming out. They bump shoulders. Black stays standing on the ramp to watch Murphy's match. Buddy Murphy beats a jobber of his own in 15 seconds. So nothing special there. And then they have this little face-off afterwards. Aleister Black hits the Black Mass on or Black Mass, whatever. Hits the move on Buddy Murphy, and then that's the end of that, really. Black sits over Murphy. Those two, Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, going one-on-one next week. Should be good, should be entertaining, but realistically, that's about it for that. So, from here, we go backstage again. This time, Rey Mysterio is being interviewed by Charlie Caruso. Rey just talks about how he got assaulted, and this match against Rollins for the United States Championship, the first ever, it has an asterisk next to it because the AOP are involved. Whatever, kind of cringe. So from here, we move on. Ricochet taking on Tony Nese in singles action. What do you think happens here? Ricochet gets the win, of course. This went for like 2 minutes. Nothing really to see. Ricochet, he had that half an hour long performance last week in the Gauntlet match, so his match here is never going to go too long. It went 2 minutes, whatever. Tony Nese takes another loss, moving on. We get more 24/7 championship BS. This time, Tozawa, he's running in New York City, which is where all these things are set, and then he hides behind a set of Christmas trees. R-Truth's like, where is he? And then they do a big chase, and that's the end of that. So that's the 24/7 title, third segment of the night, whatever. Moving on, Charlotte Flair takes on Chelsea Green here, singles action. This match, it's pretty much the same thing as what they did last week with Asuka and Deonna Purrazzo. Just have an NXT talent showcased on Raw. Obviously, the established talent. So last week, Asuka. This week, Charlotte ends up getting the win. This match went for a couple of minutes. The only really notable points were the fact that Chelsea Green is basically Charlotte's height, which is like a rarity, and the fact that Jerry Lawler was talking about getting in a new relationship with someone. I don't want to think about that. So Charlotte gets the win here. And then we go into a fourth 24/7 title segment. This time, Santa Claus is with Truth, Tozawa, and the referee. Santa Claus sends Truth to go to his sleigh. The Santa Claus hits Tozawa with his sack of presents. Then Santa Claus pins Tozawa, so Santa Claus wins the 24/7 title. I can't believe I'm literally saying this in a professional wrestling review. Santa Claus wins the 24/7 title. Santa Claus... I hate this show with a burning passion. Anyway, moving on with the show. From here, we get the OC against the Viking Raiders and Randy Orton. The way they did this, they had a video package, the entrances, another video package, and then we went to commercial, and then they did the match around the 2-hour mark of into Raw. So basically, this chewed up, before the match even started, this chewed up 10, 15 minutes of the show. The match itself chewed up 15 minutes, so this is just a great time killer for the show. The match itself, nothing overly special. It was just another OC 6-man tag, realistically. The story of this one, it became the knee of Randy Orton, which that was the thing last week in the match with Styles. This week, it was continued. Basically, Eric and Ivar showcased their stuff. He had usual near-fall breakups. In the end, Randy Orton got a blind tag. He hit some, an RKO on Anderson. He hit some other moves, only to be called by a phenomenal forearm from Styles. 1, 2, 3. The OC win this 6-man tag match on the Christmas 2019 Raw episode. Nothing really special, as I said. Moving on with the show. So from here, we got the fifth 24/7 mess segment of the night. This time, Santa jumped on a reindeer chariot. R-Truth and Tozawa with John Cone got on one, and they were raced for a little bit. It was just terrible to watch. In the end, Santa runs off, moving on. So then we get Eric Rowan. He's talking to his cage, which felt really uncomfortable to watch. It's just awkward. So that happened. And then we have the Street Profits, our unofficial hosts for Raw. They just talk about the wedding next week with Lana and Lashley. And then they say, we want the smoke, and that's that. From here, Eric Rowan came out with his cage and took on this jobber named Travis Horn. Go to commercial, come back. Horn's trying to give Rowan a candy cane. Then Horn tries to give Rowan's cage a few candy canes. Rowan snaps, gets the win. No one cares, moving on. Then there's a sixth 24/7 title segment for the night. R-Truth pins Santa. Then referee John Cone literally just storms off because he's sick of being cold, apparently. So, whatever. From here, Rusev comes out. He gets a really good reaction from the crowd. And all I'm wondering is, so the Lana Bob Lashley thing's over? Well, of course it's not. Lana, Bob Lashley, Rusev, still kind of going on. Rusev took on No Way Jose here. No Way came out with his cringe conga line. Rusev beat him in 30 seconds, and afterwards Rusev danced with the conga line people, and 2 of them kissed him, and then snow was falling from the ceiling. It was just whatever. Rusev seems to be pretty over from this. which, God forbid, did Rusev, Lana, Bob Lashley for 3 months actually work and get Rusev over? Of course it didn't. Rusev was already this over to begin with, but you didn't put him on TV. So now, backstage probably thinks, Rusev, Lana, Bob Lashley storylines like that is actually good for the wrestlers, when it's not. So, Rusev seems pretty over. That was cool. How much of it was piped in cheers, I don't know. It's WWE, so it's probably a bunch, but regardless, moving on with that. Backstage, Seth Rollins, he's interviewed again by Charlie Caruso. Rollins' face when Caruso came over and, asked a question was priceless. He was just like, oh, piss off, leave me alone. So, Rollins walks to the ring with AOP by his side, and then Rey Mysterio, he comes out with the US title, and we get the main event, Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. The picture's been on the screen, all video, so, you know the match is happening. The match itself, well, it wasn't anything super special. It was kind of like your regular Raw main event. Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins, they did the 2-3 minutes of action before the mid-match commercial, as you do on Raw. Commercial break went for 4 minutes, and then you come back, you get 5-6 minutes of action between the two. Some fun stuff in here, but nothing incredible, nothing you have to go out and watch, really. And then you get the ending, Rey Mysterio is looking like he's about to win, then Akam Razor, AOP, they just storm the ring, beat up Rey Mysterio, DQ finish, as you'd expect. Then they're beating up Rey Mysterio, just bullying him. They take him up the aisleway to the commentary table. They're standing there. Samoa Joe's just standing there, and Vic Joseph and Jerry Lawler, they're so afraid of what's happening. Basically, AOP beat up Samoa Joe, so clearly they're on the same page. So AOP beat up Joe, put him through the table and whatnot. Rey Mysterio, he gets curb stomped by Seth Rollins, and that's how this episode of Raw goes off the air. Just, what even happened on this episode? When you look back on this Monday Night Raw, what did we get tonight? We got Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy doing, squashing some jobbers and staring each other down. That was cool. The 6-man tag was absolutely nothing special. The US title match with Rollins and Ray, that was nothing special. The 24/7 title was cringe. Becky, Asuka, nothing really got accomplished there. You couldn't understand Asuka at all. And that was literally it. A bunch of other squash matches. This show was mainly to build towards Lana and Bob Lashley's wedding next week and the final Raw of the decade. That's what this show really accomplished. Because this pre-Christmas Raw episode was a thorough waste of time. Absolutely nothing special happened on this show. If you made it to this point in the video, do not go and watch this Raw after you've seen this. Just don't bother. So that, December 23rd, 2019 episode of Monday Night Raw. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, sub, you know the drill. Thanks for watching.